All right. I think I just spit on the people in the first row. I'm very sorry. Tends to happen sometimes. We are going to finally now, we've gone through all of these concepts and all of you are already envisioning that things are going to be different forever. Yes or yes? Absolutely. Now we're going to get even a little more specific and we're going to start to talk about how do we draw and attract more people into that category number one of your business, which is prospecting. Well, you can do that through marketing. To talk about what we should do to market ourselves in our business, all we really have to do first is identify what should we avoid? What should we not do? And then that opens the room so we can talk about, okay, let's not do this, but let's do this. Okay? Then tomorrow what we're going to do is get into, or for those of you watching, whenever you're watching, we're going to get into a segment called net gains. Net gains is how we're going to use the net to achieve gains in our business. And to just give you a tiny preview as we're going to kick off tomorrow with it, there's two ways to do it. There's ways to leverage the internet and technology for education and duplication and helping with some systems for your group. And then there's the marketing aspect. Those are the only two ways. Neither one of them are super, super complex, meaning you can get them going and get something happening with them. But most people think they can run their entire business that way. We've talked about concepts and techniques all day. Yes? Yes. All day we have thus far. And we've also, each and every one of them, you have said that this will change your business forever, right? How much will we use the internet so far? None yet. Interesting. Your lives and businesses will be better and different forever. We haven't even gone into that yet. We can leverage it even more with concepts like that. But first, we're going to talk about, okay, let's draw more prospects into our funnel. Let's isolate what to avoid, and then we're going to start talking about what we're going to do. Fair enough? Yes. Yes or yes? Yes. All right.
Okay, here's an illustration as we move into what we call marketing mistakes. Okay, this is a story of when we lived in Florida. These are sulcatas, by the way, for those of you that went down and saw coconut. Oh, you know what? That is so crazy because those are not sulcatas. Those are the exact two tortoises that I have. This slide finally makes sense. That's awesome. This is actually, it's not Donatello, but it's his kind, and he looks just like him. And these little babies are the same as coconut, which is African leopard tortoise. So anyway, that's kind of funny that, anyway.
Oh, interesting. It's like a dream board.
It is. That's cool. Anyway, so one of the funny stories about a marketing mistake that I made a couple years ago when we were in Florida is I decided when we moved to Florida, being from California, there's not a lot of turtles and tortoises around. And when we first moved to Florida, I was just shocked when you see turtles. You see them all the time everywhere, especially after it rains, which is, every day. They move. I don't know why they move, but they have this need to go across roads, which is not good. So anyway, I decided, because I'm, out to save the world and every turtle, that I was going to save all the turtles because we had a 5-acre home and we had a beautiful pond. And I thought, this is going to be great. So I started by the first one I ever saved, was like, oh my gosh, that turtle's on the road, So I pull over and I hit my hazard, and I look around, I run out and I grab the turtle and I put it in my trunk and I drive it home and I'm like proud and excited and happy, and I let him go and he goes. And so I thought, well, that was easy. That was great. What a great home for tortoises.
So she didn't put him to the other side that he was headed to.
No.
Where he wanted to go.
Intervened completely. Yeah.
Brought him home.
Yeah.
Put him in our pond.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, throughout the course of the first year, I got really into this turtle rescue because it was all the time. And so my marketing mistake was I told everyone that I was also rescuing turtles. And so what happened is the word got out that I would take everyone's turtles. And
no one had ever even stopped before to even help them across the road, let alone put them in their vehicle. This was a whole new marketing concept.
I was always glad that I had an SUV, though, because it was so easy to just pop it up and put them in and go. A couple times I was actually on my way to the store or and I didn't want to go home, so I just left them in there. And then I forgot they were in there. And in Florida, they have stores where the people help you. And so they, I popped the trunk and here's a tortoise or a turtle, and the guys would be like, whoa, why is that in there? I'm like, oh, well, I'm just rescuing it. And they're like, oh, okay, It was pretty funny. But anyway, so the year went on, and we had some problems as I kept collecting these turtles. And a couple times, one of Tim's favorite stories is one time when he was on a conference call, believe it or not.
Maybe some of you were on it.
a car actually, we used to have a big, like circular driveway, you know, and we lived back quite a ways. And so this car would come in and we lived by ourselves. So anytime a car came in, it was extremely noticeable. And this car comes driving slowly in, pulls right up to the front door. The people get out, drop off a turtle, and then drive away.
I didn't know who they were. And I said on the call, well, someone just dropped off a turtle, but we're going to keep going.
And he's like, okay, you really have to stop this because now not only are you bringing home all these turtles, but now other people.
Strangers.
Strangers we didn't even know.
That, again, had never even thought of moving them across the road, let alone bringing them to our house.
Well, it's not nice when they get hit. You know, that's
Yes.
the thing, is they get hit, and it's really terrible. So anyway, the point of it is.
One more story. We got so into this that another time I was on a call,
I
a
forgot
turtle attempted to escape from our pond. And of course, I wouldn't have that. So here comes a massive leatherback turtle.
No, not leatherback.
What was
it? Was
soft
called
shell. Soft shell.
With a long pointy nose
Yeah.
and a really soft shell, and it was like 50 pounds.
Yeah,
I mean, really,
literally.
it was much bigger
So I'm
than
on a
that.
call.
Oh, this is so funny.
And so I see in the lawn this turtle literally trying to escape this. Gotta get away, gotta get away. And so I drop everything and I'm on the call and I'm out there and I'm trying to get this turtle back to the pond where he belongs. Someone had rescued him and brought him here. He was clearly saying, I don't want to be here. But no, we wouldn't have it.
That was really funny.
That sucker, I can barely get my arms around him, and I'm on a call. Now, this is the greatest thing. You guys we're going to help you get your results. Let me just move this turtle.
I totally forgot about that. That was very funny.
Soft shell.
Soft shell, yeah. Anyway, so
I'm proud of that part for some reason. Soft shell. I point it out every time, and I never know why. That one was a soft shell. Now, when Johnny sends out like the clips to let people know what we're doing, I just know that somehow just a clip of me going, and that one was soft shell, is going to end up out there. I've got to watch this with me just to see what the heck they're talking about. Soft shell what?
okay, are you done?
Yes.
Okay, 'cause I can barely, you know, once I get tired, everything's really funny. And then, yeah, okay, well, you can just imagine. So, by tonight, it's just going to be, everything's so funny. Okay. So,
Because, I mean, soft shell is not really that funny. What do you think about it?
I thought I was going to think we are all nuts. Okay, so, consequently to this, the point is, not only was I bringing turtles, I got Tim starting bringing turtles, which he did not like to do in the back of the BMW, I might add. And I got other people bringing turtles that we didn't even know. So throughout the course of the year, I was very proud of myself because I had brought home quite a large number of turtles. But it never occurred to me that that was a lot or that was a problem. I just assumed everyone did it. So one day we noticed our pond was having some problems. And we were having proliferation of lilies, and everything was out of balance and out of whack, and the fish were gone, and it was all these problems.
We had just stocked this pond
Yeah.
with all these fish,
Yeah, we did.
not a fish.
Yeah.
Not a single fish. Turtles are leaving. Something was wrong.
So anyway, I asked around, and this guy says, oh, yeah, you know, you need the pond guy. You need the pond guy. That's in Florida. Everything's very vague. It's like the refrigerator guy, the pond guy. Anyway, so he's like, oh, you need
Same
the pond
guy.
That was actually funny.
One.
Wow, he's on a roll. That's awesome. Okay. All right. So Jeff, I just remember his name is Jeff. I called Jeff. Jeff comes out. Jeff's like, oh, yeah, you know, my family, I'm like a fourth-generation pond guy. No, seriously, he's really into this. They did fisheries and ponds, and he's like this total expert on ponds and habitats. And so I walk him out there, and he says, oh, you know, I'm going to go out and do an assessment, and I'm going to walk around. I'll come back in and talk to you. So he goes out, and he's out there, and I see him walking around and checking things, and I'm like, wow, you know. So finally he comes back, and he knocks on the door, and he says, can I talk to you? And I'm like, yes. So I said, hey, Jeff, what's up? And he says, well, I need to talk to you about, you know, the state of your pond and the ecological balance. And I said, okay, well, what's the scoop? And he says, well, you know, have you always had these problems, or has it come sort of suddenly? And I said, well, no, when we moved in, it was actually fine, and now it's kind of gotten, you know, all these things are happening. And he looked at me and he says, Pony, he says, have you brought any turtles? onto the premises. And I was like, oh no. And I said, yes, Jeff, actually, I have brought a few turtles over the course of the last year. And he says, how many did you bring?
In your definition, what's a few?
Yeah. And I said, well, actually, and I had kept, count because I was very proud of all this rescue. So I said, well, I brought 27. And he looked at me and he said, do you have any idea that you have just destroyed the ecological balance of your entire backyard? Because you have overdone, what is not natural by bringing in 27 turtles that are all competing, living in one pond, trying to eat all those fish, the lilies are out of whack, And he's like, it is going to take me all this time to, get some of them out of here and rebalance and replant and replenish and all this. And he's like, you must stop bringing home turtles. So I had to deal with that emotionally. And I was like, okay, all right. And then he says, why are you bringing home all those turtles? And I said, well, I'm rescuing, they're on the road. And he says, couldn't you just pull over and help them to the other side? And I said, Jeff, that's a great idea. I had never thought of that. I was so into the rescue. I just had to make that rescue and bring them to my house, because I had the perfect pond. It never occurred to me that I could just move them over and wish them well. Really. And so I really had to learn that there's a fine line there between helping people or helping turtles, as the case may be, and, pulling them too far over and creating a really imbalance. Imbalance. And so that was a really great lesson for me in all those regards. And I think all of us actually learned from that lesson.
Oh, yes, we all did. Very much so. We had to start turning cars away when they would bring their four-legged soft shells. Exactly. It was an interesting experience, and it did teach us a lesson about, we put out a marketing concept, people caught on to it, and again, I swear no one had ever even moved them to the side of the road before, but yet everyone got into bringing them to our house, because we had said, here's what we're doing. We are rescuing these turtles, and everyone got into it. So that was a form of marketing that didn't turn out so well because it was a marketing mistake.
Yeah.
So what we're going to cover with you to finish this up today are what are the marketing mistakes that are literally destroying your pond of business. How about that, okay? Ready? Yes? Yes? We're going to wrap this up. Let's go.